Kemi Adebayo arrived at Lincoln High School in Atlanta in the fall of 2024, a 16-year-old Nigerian immigrant adjusting to a new life in the United States. Her family had relocated from Lagos due to her father's job as an engineer with a multinational tech firm. Kemi, with her reserved nature and impeccable manners, stood out in the bustling hallways of the suburban school. Her accent, her traditional braids neatly tied back, and her quiet confidence drew curious glances, but also the unwanted attention of a clique of bullies led by 17-year-old Jessica Harper. What Jessica and her group didn't know was that Kemi was a third-degree black belt in Taekwondo, trained since childhood in a Lagos dojo by a master who saw her potential. Within weeks, their ignorance would lead to a confrontation that reshaped the school's culture and left an indelible mark on everyone involved. Kemi's first day at Lincoln High was unremarkable, save for the whispers she caught as she navigated the crowded cafeteria. She carried a tray of food, looking for a place to sit, when Jessica, a senior with a reputation for intimidating newcomers, spotted her. Jessica, flanked by her friends Mia and Lauren, made a loud comment about Kemi's accent, mimicking her as she asked the teacher for directions. The laughter from their table stung, but Kemi ignored it, sitting alone and focusing on her lunch. She was used to standing out. Her years in Nigeria had taught her resilience in the face of judgment. Her parents, Ade and Funmi Adebayo, had instilled in her a belief that strength lay in restraint, a principle reinforced by her Taekwondo training, where discipline was paramount. Over the next 2 weeks, Jessica's taunts escalated. She and her group began targeting Kemi in subtle but deliberate ways, tripping her in the hallway, accidentally spilling juice on her backpack, and spreading rumors that Kemi was weird and didn't belong. By the third week, the bullying became overt. During gym class, Jessica snatched Kemi's water bottle and poured it over her gym shoes, laughing as Kemi stood there, expressionless. Classmates watched, some uncomfortable but silent, others joining in with snickers. Kemi's silence was mistaken for weakness, but inside, she was calculating, drawing on her training to stay calm. Her Taekwondo master, Mr. Okoye, had taught her that a true fighter only acts when necessary, and Kemi wasn't ready to cross that line yet. The turning point came on a Friday afternoon, 4 weeks into the school year. Kemi was leaving the library, her arms full of books for a history project, when Jessica and her crew cornered her in a stairwell. The school was mostly empty, with most students already gone for the weekend. Jessica, emboldened by the lack of witnesses, shoved Kemi's books to the ground, scattering pages across the stairs. "Go back to where you came from," Jessica sneered, her friends egging her on. Kemi bent to pick up her books, but Mia kicked them further down the stairwell. That's when Kemi stood up, her posture shifting subtly, shoulders squared, feet positioned like a fighter's stance. "Please stop," she said, her voice steady but firm. Jessica laughed, stepping closer, and pushed Kemi against the wall. What happened next unfolded in seconds, but would be recounted for months. Jessica raised her hand to shove Kemi again, but Kemi's reflexes kicked in. With a swift motion, she blocked Jessica's arm, using a basic Taekwondo deflection technique. Jessica, caught off guard, stumbled but lunged forward, assuming she could overpower the smaller girl. Kemi sidestepped, redirecting Jessica's momentum with a controlled push that sent her crashing into the stairwell railing. Mia and Lauren froze, stunned by Kemi's speed. Kemi didn't strike back. She didn't need to. Her precise movements, honed over years of training, sent a clear message. She was not defenseless. "I don't want to hurt you," Kemi said calmly, her eyes locked on Jessica, who was now clutching the railing, visibly shaken. The confrontation was captured on a security camera, and by Monday morning, the footage had reached the principal, Dr. Linda Carter. The video showed Kemi's restraint. She hadn't thrown a single punch, only using defensive maneuvers to neutralize the threat. Jessica, however, claimed Kemi had attacked her, exaggerating her minor bruises to garner sympathy. Mia and Lauren backed her story, but the footage told a different tale. Dr. Carter called Kemi, Jessica, and their parents to a meeting that afternoon. Kemi's parents, Ade and Funmi, arrived, their faces a mix of concern and pride as Kemi explained the incident in her measured tone. Jessica's parents, defensive and indignant, insisted their daughter was a victim. The school's investigation moved quickly. Dr. Carter, a seasoned administrator with a zero-tolerance policy for bullying, interviewed witnesses and reviewed the footage frame by frame. By Wednesday, the decision was clear. Jessica, Mia, and Lauren faced a 2-week suspension for bullying and physical aggression. Kemi received no punishment, as her actions were deemed self-defense. The principal also mandated that the trio attend a mandatory anti-bullying program, a decision that sparked heated debates among parents. Some argued Kemi should have faced consequences for fighting, while others praised her restraint, noting that a trained fighter could have done far more damage. Word of the incident spread like wildfire. A classmate who had overheard Kemi mention her Taekwondo background posted about it online, and soon the story of the new black girl who's a black belt went viral within the school. By Thursday, local news outlets picked it up, framing it as a story of empowerment. A headline from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution read, "Teens' martial arts skills stop bullies in their tracks." The article detailed Kemi's background, her training in Nigeria, her family's recent move, and her academic excellence, with a 4.0 GPA and a passion for STEM. Reporters reached out to Kemi's family, but Ade and Funmi declined interviews, wanting to protect their daughter's privacy. Kemi, however, agreed to speak at a school assembly a week later, encouraged by Dr. Carter, who saw her as a role model. Standing before her peers, Kemi shared her story, not as a boast but as a lesson. "I didn't want to fight," she said. "Taekwondo taught me to stay calm, to protect myself without hurting others. Bullying doesn't make you strong, it makes you small." Her words resonated, and students who once ignored her began approaching her with respect. Some even asked about Taekwondo, prompting Kemi to start a free after-school martial arts club with her parents' support. Jessica's suspension was a wake-up call, but her response was mixed. She initially doubled down, posting on social media that Kemi had cheated by using her training. The backlash was swift. Classmates called her out, and her posts were reported, leading to a temporary ban from the platform. By the time she returned to school, her clique had fractured. Mia and Lauren distanced themselves, unwilling to face further scrutiny. Jessica's parents enrolled her in counseling, and she later issued a written apology to Kemi, though it felt more perfunctory than sincere. The incident had ripple effects beyond the school. Kemi's martial arts club grew, attracting students from diverse backgrounds who wanted to learn self-defense and discipline. Her Taekwondo master in Nigeria, Mr. Okoye, sent a video message praising her restraint, which was played at a school event, further cementing her reputation. The school board, prompted by the incident, implemented a district-wide anti-bullying curriculum, with Kemi's input on fostering respect across cultures. Her story inspired other students to speak out about bullying, leading to several investigations into unreported incidents at Lincoln High. Kemi's parents, initially worried about her adjustment to a new country, saw her resilience shine. Ade, a soft-spoken engineer, told her, "You've made us proud, but more importantly, you've shown who you are." Funmi, a nurse, began volunteering at the school to support other immigrant families, sharing resources on navigating cultural transitions. Kemi herself became a mentor, helping younger students build confidence through martial arts and academics. The broader community took notice. A local dojo offered Kemi a part-time coaching role, recognizing her skill and maturity. She accepted, using her earnings to fund scholarships for low-income students to join Taekwondo classes. Her story was featured in a national PBS segment on youth empowerment, highlighting how her cultural roots and training gave her the tools to stand up without striking back. Social media continued to amplify her message, with hashtags like #KemiKicksBack trending for weeks. Jessica, meanwhile, struggled to regain her footing. Her reputation as a bully followed her, and she transferred to another school the following semester. Teachers noted a change in her behavior, though, suggesting the incident had forced her to confront her actions. For Kemi, the focus remained forward. She excelled in her classes, won a regional science fair at a project on renewable energy, and earned a full scholarship to Georgia Tech, where she planned to study computer engineering. Years later, Kemi reflected on that stairwell confrontation as a defining moment. It wasn't about defeating Jessica. It was about proving to herself and others that strength comes from within, not from tearing others down. Her martial arts club became a permanent fixture at Lincoln High, and her story continued to inspire students to stand up for themselves and others, ensuring that no one would underestimate the new black girl again.